such a jolly tune, and we find ourselves on the wrong side again. This always tends to happen. Right, hang on.
I think that's because you put me in first.
Because I know this. I know this upsets you. I know this upsets
you. Listen, I get some sort of there's a phobia. I think there's something to do with me being on the left hand side of the screen as I look at it.
It's kind of like Ant and Dec, isn't it?
No, they're funnier than that.
Probably. I'll get this bit out of the way then for the people watching. Guys, supports the channel by dropping a like on the stream, subscribing to the YouTube channel, and...
I do believe what you need to do is you need to touch the bell.
You do?
Just gently. Just a little caress of the bell will be enough.
Just a gentle brush. That is all you need on that bell, and you'll be notified of any new content we upload to the channel. Such as this, dude.
We're going to get ourselves banned if we're not careful with this, I tell you.
We need to be careful. I think we're sailing close. But
I'm going to have to do the top button up. I realised my carpet was out.
Listen, that might attract people. Some people might go for that.
Put people off their breakfast, mate. It might.
Maybe.
Sitting down with a bacon butty watching this, and with the old wig out. You know what I mean? No one needs to be seeing that first thing in the morning.
I got to be honest, it's been quite difficult to do this daily West Ham the last few days and try and avoid anything to do with the matches as far as the last one is concerned away at Southampton and the upcoming one, because obviously we do our pre-match and our post-match and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
This story that we're about to cover does kind of have something to do with the upcoming game, but it's not to do with the game itself. Okay, let's explain some more. So this is from Hammer's News website. And this was news that broke as we record this, obviously, on Tuesday evening. This will be going out on Wednesday morning. So to you, dear viewer, this broke yesterday, but to us, as we record this, this was earlier on today. Does that make sense? I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Was that wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff? Cancelled Croatian authorities move to shut down West Ham Group's plans in Zagreb over security concerns, quote unquote. If we scroll down, it says that Croatian authorities have moved to shut down plans for West Ham United fans in Zagreb this week. Thousands of West Ham fans were expected to travel to Zagreb on the first leg of the club's European tour. I'm going to skip that little bit because that's just sort of a load of peripheral nonsense. Stuff about fans being warned not to wear Nikola Vlasic's name because he's a former player of Zagreb's bitter rivals Hajduk Split. It goes on to say that the supporters group, Croatian Irons, had arranged a little party at Harat's pub in Zagreb, but the Croatian authorities have moved to shut down the gathering overnight. This was announced on social media. The Croatian Irons have said that all public gatherings of West Ham fans have been banned by local authorities and the police, and the event has therefore been cancelled. Now, this also comes just shortly before. Now, bear in mind, we were given an allocation of 12,043 tickets. Sorry, 1,243. Sorry, 12,000. That's wishful thinking. 1,243 tickets. Yeah. And these have actually gone out to people that have season tickets with no priority points, which is quite unheard of. And then following on from that, the club have actually been given an extra, because I got a ticket this morning as a season ticket holder. I was given the opportunity today to buy some tickets for this game. At 2 days' notice, I've got absolutely no chance whatsoever of getting that time off. But there's an extra 750 or so tickets that the club have been given right at the last knockings, and season ticket holders had till 5 o'clock today, which is now 3.5 hours ago from when we record this. This just seems like an absolute shambles to me.
Stick that end of the news report up, Rob, because I've just seen a kicker there as well. It's thought that the mixture of the short notice on the ticket details due to UEFA dragging their heels over whether away fans will be allowed matches, COVID testing requirements, and a strict no drinking policy, breathalyzer testing at the game itself. Now, you know what? Listen,
Crazy, innit?
At the end of the day, I get we're going to a foreign country. I get that there are some that are still out there that like to pin the blame on the thugs and the hooligans that are
Yeah.
English football fans. You know, I'm not saying those days are long gone, but as a group of football fans, West Ham are a group of football fans that, if are confronted with aggression, they're going to reply with aggression. And I don't think there's any football fan out there of any other club in the country that wouldn't say the same.
Well, remember the away game in Palermo?
Yeah, you know what? This is it, mate. It's I get why. I get why the authorities that there are going. You know, it's West Ham, and we do have a history of you know, key history of hooliganism, and the possibility of, you know, going out to Eastern Europe where they have their own issues, without, you know, do you know what I mean? And listen, our history is our history. The supporters of the club now are nowhere near as entrenched in that kind of reactionary violence, shall we say, as we were once linked to. But again, any football fan that's out there will quite graciously admit, if you try to apply violence to a situation, we're going to reply with violence. It's that simple. We're not going to go out looking for it. If it finds us, we'll quite happily deal with it. Now, that being said, if I'm going to a football match, and you and me can attest to this with the Palace game a couple of weeks ago, feels like a couple of weeks ago. It was a couple of weeks ago. It feels like a couple of months ago. Sorry,
2 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks. Something like that. Time goes so quick.
There was no break. I enjoyed having a beer with you guys. You know, yourself and Steve. You know, Milesy. That's what you go to football for. So have a few beers with the boys. Go watch the game. And if you're taking that away from me, even just popping in for a pint because you're going to be breathalyzed at the gate before you go in, piss off. I'm not travelling.
It's not like you're being made to feel welcome, is it?
No, I'm not. Listen, I ain't travelling to Zagreb. If I was given the opportunity, I wouldn't travel to Zagreb. I pay all that money out, lose, you know, a couple of days' work, whatever. Run the risk of having a full-blown domestic indoors. Just to go have a Coke in Croatia and watch a game of football. Now, there's probably going to be people out there that will comment on this tomorrow morning that, well, you ain't a fan then, are you? It's not a case of that. You know, if I'm going away, I want to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
I'm not spending all that money on tickets. I'm not spending all that money on flights, accommodation costs. Just turn up, throw my bags in the hotel room, go to the football match. I'm at the football match, go put my head on a pillow, get up in the morning, get on the plane and come home.
Well, given that
you want to make the time of it.
Well, given that we're struggling, from the report saying that the initial allocation of 1,243 tickets, it looks like we were struggling to get rid of that, let alone the extra 750 that we've apparently since been given. I believe the allocation is now nearer 2,000 in total.
Right.
But given that we were struggling to get rid of the 1,200 tickets, I'd suggest that there's actually a lot of people that are thinking the same way that you do.
Yeah, can you blame them though?
No,
if you're in their
not.
shoes, you know what I mean? So it's difficult because as fans, you know, when the final whistle blew at the end of last season, we've been gagging for this. We've been gagging for this, for the draw. I mean, we did the live stream on the draw, and the excitement was palpable. Massively. You know, it was, oh, come on. I was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And I know every other fan that we've spoken to via the channel, via Twitter, anything else, was exactly the same. And now to be told you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other, that's kind of been tampered with a bit, isn't it?
I'd love to know for the reverse fixture whether, and it doesn't make any difference as far as I'm concerned. But I'd love to know whether, when the reverse fixture comes round, whether the same restrictions are going to be in place for the Dinamo Zagreb supporters. I suspect probably not.
No, probably not. And listen, at the end of the day, I'll go in all in. I don't care. They have more of a recent history with regards to violence at football matches. They have a more recent history, and by this I mean Eastern European countries, with a tendency for racist behaviour. They have tendencies for homosexuality, baiting, and violence in their countries. Now, that being said, are we going to allow them to come over here into our country, into our football stadium, and continue that behaviour? But yet we can't go there and drink. But it's okay for. And listen, I'm not going to say they will, but we shall find out on Thursday night if racist chants are going to be aimed at, Macau Antonio or Said Ben Rama.
Sadly, I'm going to lay money that's almost certain to happen.
I don't doubt that I would. I don't doubt that we will see or hear, the traditional monkey noises or the the armpit gesture. I don't doubt that we will see things thrown onto the pitch. Various fruits, etc. I don't doubt that we're going to see that. Yet here we are. With a history that's probably closer to, I'd say, 40 years old now. The early 80s.
Yeah.
As a country, early 80s, that I would say is no longer applicable, Rob. I mean,
I agree.
If you look at what happened in Russia during the World Cup, trouble found us and we retaliated. We didn't start nothing out there. Well, I'd like to think, touching wood and stuff, that I believe the stories that I read showed that we didn't start trouble, that they came looking for us and we retaliated. But you pin an animal into a corner, going to retaliate, right?
Of course it is. Got no choice.
We're going out then on Thursday. We're being told we can't do this, we can't do that, because I do feel it's because of a previous reputation that is probably about 40 years old.
Yeah.
Yet nothing's being done other than here's a £40,000 fine for racist behaviour. Here's a £40,000 fine for booing a national anthem. Here's a £40,000 fine for, failure to control your fans in your club. Well, that ain't doing full in the grand scheme.
The thing is, Duke, is the people that hand out the fines and the punishments, it's UEFA, and they're useless. I mean, it's UEFA that's the reason why all these restrictions are in place. I mean, if you look on the article, it says it actually makes reference to it. It says it is thought a mixture of short notice on tickets due to UEFA dragging its heels over whether away fans were to be allowed at matches. So UEFA are complicit in this situation. UEFA are complicit in allowing a lot of the nonsense that goes on at Eastern European grounds. And I'm not saying all Eastern European clubs, I'm not saying all Eastern European people are party to this, but it happens an awful lot. It happens too much. And each time UEFA just sort of like, they give a punishment that's not really a punishment. As you say, it's an amount of money that when you look at it, you go, there are players that get fined more than that for, a bad challenge or something like that.
Luka Modric could pay that and still have 12 times that in his wage for the Croatian authorities.
Wasn't there a player that got done more money for? Was it Nicholas Bentner was done for showing a sort of like his boxer shorts above the line of his playing shorts?
Paddy Power.
Yeah,
Paddy Power. He got.
and he got some ridiculous fine, and it was like at the time it was compared to I don't know if it was sort of like a country or a club team in Eastern Europe that had got done for racist behaviour by their fans or whatever, and that was a lesser fine than Nicholas Bentner got. I was just like,
listen,
they're not fit for purpose.
No, they're not. Until they start dishing out punishment that befits the crime, then you ain't going to see nothing change.
No.
Until they start hitting it where it hurts. So, Croatia, Hungary, because obviously we had problems in Hungary as a national side.
Euros, yep.
Certain areas of Russia, etc., etc. No, but until these teams are no longer allowed to compete or sit at Europe's highest table, i.e. the Champions League, the Europa League, now the Conference League, playing in the Euros, playing in the World Cups, until they are stopped from doing these, and the authorities within those countries and within those clubs do something to weed out these scumbags, then nothing is going to change. No. I will fine you $40,000, 40,000 euros. All right, cheers. There you go. Next game. Boom! Monkey chants, monkey actions, bananas on the pitch, beating up a gay couple because they're walking the football hand in hand. There's another £40,000 fine. Yeah. All right, thanks. Next game. Boom! All this, and it is just a vicious cycle. And until FIFA and UEFA come together and decide enough's enough, nothing's going to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can't drink. Remember that. We're not allowed to drink.
We're not allowed to drink. We've got to be breathalysed before we go in. And woe betide you if you fail that breathalyzer test, because you'll probably spend a night in the cells at Zagreb and you'll probably get a bit of a working over from a few of the local old Bill.
Let me ask
Welcome
you this,
to Croatia.
Didn't say anything about the Zagreb fans having to be breathalyzed, did it?
No, of course it didn't. And like I say, I can guarantee you when they come to these fair shores, I don't think there'll be any breathalyzer tests before they come in. I'll guarantee you that.
Guarantee that
just seems... Yeah, it just seems to me like, it's one rule for one. It's not an even-handed sort of situation. Do you know what I mean? So, but there you go. So there you go. So the Croatian Irons have put it out. No gathering. West Ham fans, you're not welcome. Don't come into the ground if you've had a beer. Basically, they don't want us there. Not UEFA, not the Croatian football authorities. It seems like, if you're an English football fan, if you're a West Ham football fan, you might as well stay at home and watch it on the telly.
That's really the way it feels. Is the way it feels.
You're not welcome. But they want our money. They want our money. So.
Oh, yeah, of course they do.
Of course they do. Okay, guys, but you've got the comment section below. Get stuck into it. Croatian, anyone going to Croatia, you let us know. Please, by all means, tell us your experiences afterwards. Was it as bad as maybe the reports seem to make out? Listen, I would love the opportunity to go, but with 2 days' notice, it was never going to happen for me. But with all of the restrictions put in place, you can't have a drink. I just think, really, why would you? As you say, Duke, you don't want to go there to get absolutely smashed out of your box. Just a couple of jars to sort of be sociable and all the rest of it. But it's just really poor, really, really poor. Anyway, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel, and
gently stroke my bell.
Gently stroke Duke's bell. And a little bit of good news today. We hit another milestone, didn't we? We hit 900.
900. As of recording this, we were sat at 900.
Not bad since we only started in February.
I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with the run we're having. I'm over the moon with how it's going, to be honest with you, mate. And as I said to you the other night when you came into the pub, long may this continue.
Absolutely. And there we shall end it, my friend. But we'll finish with, from you.
I believe, a bit like what this shirt looks like and this shirt looks like. and this one looks like. We're back in massive.
We are. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.